So, the Great War is over. The kings? They're all dead. But if you know anything about Westeros, you know the silence after a battle, well, that can be way more dangerous than the fight itself. Today we're diving into George R.R. Martin's A Feast for Crows, the fourth book in A Song of Ice and Fire, and it all kicks off in the smoldering ashes of a kingdom. We're going to be focusing on the really complex opening of this book. See, this story isn't about huge epic battles. It's about the scavengers, the ones who creep out after the fighting stops. It's all about that dangerous, deceptive quiet that settles over a land that's been torn apart by war, where the real rot is just starting to set in. And this is the absolute core of it, right here. The official war might be over, but all that's done is open the door for new, sneakier struggles for power. Conflicts are festering in the shadows, all across Westeros. So let's start where it all happens, King's Landing, the heart of the realm. Now, on the surface, it looks like peace is back. But it's a really fragile, hollow kind of peace, you know? It's all built on a shaky foundation of secrets and fear. I mean, on paper, the political situation looks pretty solid. You've got the young, gentle King Tommen on the Iron Throne. All the major rivals for the crown are dead. It really seems like House Lannister has won, totally and completely. And the guy who made it all happen, the most powerful man in Westeros, is Lord Tywin Lannister. But here's where it gets interesting. This quote comes from a nightmare that Queen Regent Cersei is having, and it tells you everything. It shows this terrifying paranoia just hiding under the surface. She dreams of having ultimate power, but then realizes she's exposed, vulnerable, naked, for everyone to laugh at. This is not the dream of a confident winner. It's the nightmare of someone who knows her power is just a fragile illusion. Okay, let's shift gears. We're moving from the center of political power to the center of knowledge, the city of Old Town. Here, far away from all the fighting, some very strange new rumors are starting to bubble up. Whispers that could literally change everything. So sailors pulling into port are all telling the same wild, impossible story. You have guys from 4 different ships who don't even speak the same language, and they're all talking about dragons. They say a beautiful young queen has hatched 3 of them way out in the east. Now, to the super serious, learned maesters of the Citadel, this just sounds like crazy talk. And it's easy to see why they dismiss it, right? I mean, dragons have been extinct for over 100 years. Is this just the kind of story you'd expect from a bunch of drunken sailors? Or is something truly world-changing happening on the other side of the planet? And then, this. This changes everything. An obsidian candle, a magical artifact from old Valyria that hasn't been lit for centuries, is now burning. This isn't just sailors' gossip. This is real, tangible proof. Magic, which everyone thought was long dead, is seeping back into the world. The old powers are waking up. Now let's jump over to the harsh and stormy Iron Islands, a place that's always been a world unto itself. Here, the sudden death of their king has just ripped open a huge, dangerous power vacuum. A massive political storm is brewing. So King Balon Greyjoy mysteriously falls from a bridge during a storm. And what happens the very next day? His long-exiled and frankly terrifying brother Euron Crowseye sails right into port and declares that the Seastone Chair, the driftwood throne of the Ironborn, is his. Well, this kicks off a major crisis. See, according to the laws of the mainland, the throne should go to Balon's only living son, Theon. But the Ironborn, they have this ancient, almost forgotten tradition they call the Old Way. And in the Old Way, you don't inherit a king, you choose one. And that is the defiant cry of Aeron Damphair. He's Balon's other brother, and he's a fanatical priest of their drowned god. He looks at his brother Euron and just sees an abomination, a guy who laughs at their gods and traditions, and he absolutely refuses to let him rule. So he comes up with a pretty radical plan. So Aeron's plan is just wild. He calls for a king's moot, a tradition that hasn't been used for thousands of years. He's summoning every single captain and lord to a great council. The idea is they'll get together, reject all the current claimants, and go back to the old way. They're going to elect their new king. And in doing so, he's throwing the entire future of the Iron Islands into total chaos. All right, let's head south now, all the way to the desert kingdom of Dorne. The grief over the brutal murder of their beloved Prince Oberyn Martell back in King's Landing has curdled into this burning desire for one thing, and one thing only: revenge. Leading the charge for blood are Oberyn's fierce, vengeful bastard daughters, known to everyone as the Sand Snakes. Each one of them goes to their uncle, the very cautious Prince Dorn, and demands he take action. The only problem, they all have very different ideas about what that action should be. The eldest, Obara, is a warrior through and through. Her plan is simple, and it is brutal. Unleash the Dornish armies. She wants to sack the city of Old Town and just start an open war with the crown. Then you have Nymeria, the second sister. She prefers a more subtle touch. She doesn't want an army. She wants a list. Her plan is a campaign of targeted assassinations, taking out the 4 key Lannisters who caused their family so much pain. And finally, there's Tien. Now, her plan might just be the most clever and dangerous of them all. She wants to use Dornish law, which says a daughter comes before a younger brother in the line of succession. So she wants to crown Princess Marcella, who's a guest in Dorne right now, as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. This would directly challenge King Tommen's right to the throne and light the spark for a devastating civil war from the inside. And this brings us right back to King's Landing, where all these different threats, the rising krakens from the sea, the vengeful vipers from the desert, the whispers of dragons from the east, are all about to crash down on a kingdom that has just suffered one last devastating blow. The man who engineered the Lannister victory, the Hand of the King, the most feared and respected man in all of Westeros, is dead. Lord Tywin Lannister has been murdered, and his death leaves a catastrophic power vacuum right at the heart of a kingdom that's already starting to tear itself apart at the seams. So we're left with this massive question. The one man holding the 7 kingdoms together is gone. The Ironborn are about to choose a new king to lead them into war. Dorne is plotting its revenge, and actual magic is creeping back into the world. A feast for crows has truly begun. So you have to ask yourself, who is really in charge now?